Hi, I'm Justine, and I will be talking to you a bit about my exchange in NUCB in Japan. So that exchange was for 4 months, and it was happening in Nagoya, which is located in the middle of Japan. So I wanted to discover a new educational system, and I also wanted to see how it works in other countries, in other schools. So this is why I didn't choose to do inter-campus mobility, because I thought that it would be too similar from what I've learned in Paris. If I were going to Casablanca or Shanghai, for example. So I choose an exchange instead, and I also wanted to be like for a short period of time, because I also wanted to still be able to do internship or to go abroad another time. So that would not have been possible with the double degree, for example. So this is why I choose to do an exchange of only 1 semester instead of inter-campus or double degree. I actually met the expectations because it was really a different way of working. For example, in NUCB, when you're an exchange student, you have to read case studies before going to class, and then you will study it with the teacher afterwards. Case studies can be between 1 to 20 pages. I know it sounds a lot, but it's most of the time very interesting subject that you probably don't know about, and it's about brands or companies that you don't already know about, or countries or facts that you didn't know, which is really interesting. And then you will study in class with the teacher. You will have questions about it, either it will be graded or not. And then you can also have group projects from the case studies you read, with questions, with presentation. That was also very interesting, because I think that the nationalities were way more mixed, than in Lyon, because we're all exchange students. So we had German, Spanish, Italian, Korean, Indonesian, and you can be with all of those people in groups and talk with them and see from their different backgrounds, their different ideas and everything. So it's very enriching to learn about that. And one other thing, which might seem cool, is that we didn't really have exams, which means that we had mostly reports to do, but most of the time they were quite long. And I think it was very interesting because it helped me to get more skills into writing reports that can be short or long, it depends. But yeah, it gave me more skills, so it met my expectation of really different ways of learning. I think I would really advise any student to do an exchange once in their life, because it's really enriching personally, but also professionally, and in terms of studies, you will have such an amazing background with you because you have done this exchange. I mean, I think it's very important for each student, if they have the opportunity to do it once in their life, to go for it. But if I had some advice to give to students before going to exchange, especially for an exchange like that, which is very far away and very different from your home culture, is that really be prepared to get out of your comfort zone and be able to adapt. Because for example, I'm ashamed to say it, but I didn't learn any Japanese, which makes it quite hard to communicate with Japanese people. So you really need to be able to adapt with them, and to be able to communicate with them the way they communicate with the people in general, because they're very polite, for example, which is not a myth, it's true. And they really have that welcoming stance. I mean, wherever you will go, they will welcome you very happily. So you will have to be able to respond to them and be able to adapt. And yeah, I think adaptation is the right word to say if you want to go to any kind of exchange. In terms of the competences, I think I gained in lots of competences actually. But one of them is that now I think I'm more analytical than before, especially because of the case studies. As you have to read one for each class each week, you then become able to analyze it very fast, and to answer the questions, for example, very fast, and then to be able to work on it and to write a report on it. And also when you have case study that is 20 pages long, you have to don't lose time on it and to be able to read it fast but don't miss any kind of information. So you have to be able to read it through the lines and be more synthetical than if it was 1 page long only. I think I also gained competencies in the different classes I had. For example, we had a class on business ethics, which was very interesting because I get to discover how a company can be more ethic in what it does. I mean, socially, environmentally, and so on. I also had a class which was critical thinking. So being able to be critical, but not being mean when you like take a step back when you see something, when you see a project, when you see art, and how to be able to criticize it in a good way, and how to accept ideas of everyone to be able to make a good melting pot into get into a good project. This exchange also helped me to define my professional path. I mean, now I'm more aware of what I want to do because we had those two classes, which was business ethics and global environmental issues. And it helped me to understand that in business school, we can be tough with all of those classes, and that we can actually make something about it. We can actually make a change. And it made me realize that now I want to do, after my BBA, I want to do a master in sustainable development and innovations, which I didn't know before I came to Japan. And it also helped me to look for an internship that would be in those fields. And I finally find it. So it really helped me to define what I want to do later. Instead of just being like, I want to do marketing or I want to do finance, it helped me to really define more deeply what I wanted to do and more specifically, which I think it's very important for all of us, because at 21, you're not sure of what you want to do later, even though you're in business school. So it was very important for me. So to conclude, I really enjoyed that exchange in terms of courses, obviously, but also in terms of personal experience. I'm not going to talk about the travels, of course, which is part of the exchange. I'm sure you know it, but it's also, you're also going to discover how other school works, how other classes are made, and how other teachers than the one from your school are working. So it was very enriching. I also get to meet a lot of people from a lot of different nationalities, which is also very enriching because you get to discover these different ways of thinking, of working in class and everything. So that was very interesting. And yeah, I think it's pretty much it. So if you ever want to contact me because you're interested in this exchange, really feel free, and I will answer any kind of your question if you want. So thank you.